So, but yeah, this is what we're working with today. This is how the
I
curl.
love it. I love it. I want you to tell me the products that you're using, and I'm gonna put it in the post. I'm gonna put it in the
Mm,
show notes, but I also just want it selfishly because I've got like a hodgepodge of stuff, and again, it's not really working for the curls. The last time that I got my hair cut and colored, it's supposed to end with a blowout, but after 2 hours of being at the salon, I was just I'm like, "I gotta get out of here. I can't. I don't wanna stay for the blow dry. I'm just gonna leave, with it wet." And so my stylist said, "Okay, I'm just gonna put some product in," and I should have asked her what it was because I love the way it dried.
mm.
Absolutely loved it. It was like a cross between a gel and a cream. Because you know how, did you do the thing with the dep, like, when we were
Oh, the
younger?
crunchy gel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The
Kind
clear
of.
bottle.
But yeah, I think I had it when I was in. Yeah, I think it was in high school. It did not work though. It did not work at all. But yeah, I'll tell you the products. I mean, so I watched like a few TikTok videos, saw all of their recommendations, got completely overwhelmed by the amount of like steps and like yeah, just the process that people follow because it like I said, it felt more cumbersome than straightening it. So the result is that
Yeah.
this is just uh it's really just one product and like uh Olaplex oil, but I don't remember the name of the product. I'll get it for you.
I got that Olaplex oil inspired
Yeah.
by you, the little travel
Oh,
size.
the little one. I think I'm probably still using the same one that you saw me use like a year and a half ago. It goes very slowly.
Yeah, you really don't need that much. Yeah, very little does a lot.
Yeah. It's like a very and if you put too much, obviously it'll make your hair look oily. So yeah, you need very little.
So tell me about the cool thing that you did last weekend. I heard a little bit about it.
Yes, it was cool. It was Friday on Friday. Seemingly like half of the people I follow on social media, I was at the Sphere to watch the Backstreet Boys, and it was really fun. I thought it was like hard to get. I mean, the tickets were expensive. I think they were kind of hard to get. I was only able to go because a friend had an extra ticket that I got from her. But literally everybody on that I follow on Instagram was apparently also there because that's all I saw that
Same
weekend.
that
That
same
big
night?
week, like Friday or Saturday. Yeah, I didn't see anyone actually there when I was there, but then I saw all of the posts, afterwards. But yeah, went to Backstreet Boys, went to Gymkhana for dinner first, which was
Did you
great.
love it?
Loved it. Beautiful ambiance. The food was amazing. I don't always love Indian fusion. You know, it can be hit or miss, like because we just grew up with so much of like the traditional food. But I thought
Yeah.
Gymkhana was definitely think one of the best, if not the best, like Indian fusion restaurants I've been to. Yeah, they like it still tasted authentic even though it was not traditional and yeah, really just really really good food. I loved they had like a it was like a chaat dish that was super good, a paneer dish that was great. And then we were texting about the green cocktail, the mezcal cocktail.
Balgira. I think it's called the Balgira. Yeah.
It is called a Bulgara, and it is so good. It has like there's a reference to ants in the title of the
I
or in the
know.
description of the drink. So yeah, at first I asked our server because I was like, "Are there ants in it? Is it like what's the deal?" Remembering that time. Remember that time we went to the Oaxacan restaurant in San Diego and they served
Yes. Claudette. It
starfish
was Claudette Zapata.
at that restaurant.
Yes. Yeah, and there was ants in something.
I think it was yeah, there were ants in either yeah, I think it was in one of the dishes.
Okay.
Anyway, so after that, I was like just wanting to make sure because I was like, I'm vegetarian. Are there ants in the cocktail? And he was like, no, it's sort of infused or whatever the description was that the mezcal is infused with it at some point, similar to the way there's a worm, with tequila. That was
Sure.
enough for me to say, okay, this is still vegetarian friendly, and yeah,
Honey.
exactly. But it was really good. Yeah, we did that. Went to the Sphere. Sphere. Have you been to the Sphere before for anything?
I haven't. I've seen it from the outside. I really wanna go. I really wanna go. I wanna go for I don't know. I don't know exactly there's a long list of artists that I would totally go there for. I would go see the Backstreet Boys too. I haven't, like, made a plan to do it.
Yeah, it's really cool. That concert is specific it's the only one I've been to there, but it was really cool. Just I mean, yeah, it's amazing. We were kind of in towards the back, like, higher up, and yeah, I loved it. Like, just you're just totally immersed in, like they have all these cool scenes. They have, like, a lot of, like, space themed kind of, um yeah, like, it's a very cool immersive experience. The chairs, like, the seats actually shake at different points, like,
Oh,
uh,
wow. I didn't realize there were seats. For some reason, I thought that people were just standing the whole time.
there's a big floor section, so there are people standing, but yeah, they have seats too.
It's good to know. Okay, that makes it somehow a lot more yeah, because they were doing The Wizard of Oz there, and I guess
Uh-huh.
I never really thought about, like, yeah, people are not gonna stand and
Yeah,
watch that
I see what you're
movie
saying.
for however many hours, although, I don't know, maybe some people would, but, okay, so it's comfortable, but if you
Comfortable,
wanna
but it's most of us were standing the entire time. I did the,
right,
like
okay.
I did sit for the songs that were slower that I didn't know just to get a break. The Backstreet Boys are also they're great. Like, they must be 50, or 8 between they're older than us. They're probably in their 50s.
I think they must be in their
Um,
50s. They had that, T-Mobile commercial during the Super Bowl.
that's right, yep. Um, yeah, they sounded really good. They said, they'd originally signed up for 6 shows, and then the show I saw last weekend was their 30th.
Oh
So,
my
it was so
gosh.
popular that they got, lots of I guess, an extension for lots more shows. So, yeah, totally worth seeing. They sound really good. They, yeah, they were entertaining, and it's just, like, being at a venue, like a concert like that, in a venue like that is just very, it's just peak entertainment. Everyone is belting every song at, like, the top of their lungs, and the imagery is super cool. It was great. I afterwards could not hang for more than, like, an hour. I was so tired and just, like it was very, like, stimulating. Um, but yeah, I loved it. You should
Yeah,
go before
that
they close.
I mean, that on top of being it's Vegas, so already it's, like, overly stimulating just, like, being in that city, and then add gymkhana, and then a show, yeah. I would need to
That was
call into
you're right. No, Gymkhana, I'm so glad we went because I've, wanted to go there. We talked about it before on an earlier episode. But it was very ambitious to eat, and we got the chef's tasting menu, so they brought out, like, an endless amount of dishes. Very ambitious to eat Indian food before a concert, but also, like, we were wearing all white, so, of course, I have, red sauce, like, that stained
Oh
me.
my gosh, I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
also ambitious to eat Indian food when you're wearing all white. So, yeah, probably not the best move looking back on it.
I love the audacity. Look, that's what are you
We
gonna do?
were
You
only
wanna
there
do
for a
both
night.
things.
Yeah, we were only there for a night, we had to maximize.
I mean, pack it in and also once you get like it's not like anyone is looking at your outfit and being like, "Oh my god, they have like turmeric on their shirt or whatever."
Correct. Yeah, I mean, that's right, no one's really looking. It is actually very cool to see everyone wearing white. I think every single person followed the assignment, because I don't think I saw anybody that was wearing any other colors. So a whole sea of people in white as I feel like that really added to I don't know, to the effect.
That's so cool. That's so
Yeah.
cool. What an amazing experience.
Yeah, and while I was at the Backstreet Boys, you were doing a cool thing. What were you up to?
I was in Costa Rica. I was celebrating my birthday at Peninsula on 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 Peninsula Papagayo. What is the right way to say
Yeah, I think on.
on you would be on a peninsula.
Mhm.
It's a gated community near you fly into Liberia. I think there are two major airports in Costa Rica, San Jose and Liberia, and it's about 45 minutes outside of Liberia, and it's for 3 days, which it was a very quick trip. I have been to Costa Rica before, and I forgot that it's actually quite far from Los Angeles flight
Mm.
wise. It's
Mhm.
about 6 hours and, yeah, but you know what? It's one of those you get on the plane and then
Yeah.
if you got a book or something to do, movies, Alaska Airlines, they have, like, that whole library of stuff that you can watch on your phone or computer or whatever, so I was like, "You know what? It's fine. I'm, like, just gonna bang out some writing on the way down, gonna watch some Gilmore Girls on the way back up, and while we were there, it was just beautiful. Like, there are 2 different beaches. We stayed at, Four Seasons Peninsula at Papagayo, which is, it's on a part of the peninsula where there are 2 different beaches.
Mm.
There's one that's more of like a bay, the other one, it has a little bit more waves, and they're both the Pacific Ocean, but one has better sunset views, one has sunrise, and yeah, it was just like for my ideal plan of or my ideal vision of pool, beach, pizza, crudité. I think I did all those things.
Crudité, I was gonna say, did you have crudité?
You know what? I didn't have crudité, but I had 2 really good Greek salads.
Okay, we'll allow that. It's not in line with what you described last time of your ideal birthday, but okay,
You're right. You're
we'll make
right.
an exception.
I should have, because they have tahine too. I would love a crudité. Maybe that's what I want right now, like some cucumber, carrot, and celery sticks with tahine and ranch.
Like, you put the tahini on ranch,
You put the tahine on the
on the
vegetables,
vegetables, and then you dip it on in the
and then you
ranch.
dip it in
Okay,
the ranch.
yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, that sounds kinda good.
You could put the tahine in the ranch, but I think that, yeah, you would get more of the, yeah, impact if you put it on the vegetable itself.
Well, I think I was thinking about tahini on ranch because one of the hacks that I didn't come up with, but I started doing is putting like taco seasoning in Greek yogurt, like mix that into like a
Oh.
yeah, it's really good. So if you're
Oh, that's
craving or we
smart.
do it like instead of like sour cream, if you're making like tostadas or tacos or something instead of sour cream, I do Greek yogurt with the taco seasoning mix in. So that's what I was thinking of when I was like, oh, mixing the tahini into ranch. But no, it makes more sense to actually sprinkle it on the vegetables first.
But no, that's so smart, and I totally use Greek yogurt as a sub for sour cream all the
Hmm.
time. And yeah, I'll do, like, I think I've done a ranch dip sort of like that, like, take ranch seasoning and mix it into Greek yogurt. Yeah, I know sour cream purists will not obviously, it's not the same exact thing, but I don't know, I'm just I think both of us are just, like, yogurt girls. We love our yogurt.
Like it's the South Indian in us. We have yogurt after our meals, and so well, that's how we grew. Did you grow up eating yogurt rice? I'm like maybe
I
you did.
didn't. I
Oh,
didn't.
your
I
ancestors did.
my ancestors did, my parents did, I mean, my mom definitely did, but, I would I would have raita sometimes, but even now, like, the consistency of curd rice is when it's, like, in its ultimate form, where it's almost like a rice pudding, I can't it's a texture thing for me.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Well, I grew up eating like yogurt rice or sometimes buttermilk rice. As like
Really?
yeah, that's what we would eat after our meals. And recently, I've gotten my parents on a kick because 'cause they're trying to eat more protein of doing cottage cheese. So they will have, like, the cottage cheese kind of like they would eat yogurt rice, and it works.
Wait,
But anyway, yeah,
is it like a 50-50 ratio basically, or is it, like, more of
I'm
one
like
thing than the other?
of yogurt rice.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's no, I think it's a personal preference. I lean on the side of like put more yogurt. Um, so yeah, I like mine to be a little liquidier. Yeah, but
I don't know what it is because I love yogurt, but I actually need it to be on the other side. I need it to be more like there's just like a dollop on top, and then there's more rice and other stuff. Like if I'm having
well,
it
yeah,
like
but then that's a whole different dish, right? Because then you're using the yogurt as like a garnish as
so
opposed to
as a
the dish
garnish.
itself being yogurt and rice. But
Yeah.
yes, you should. All right, we'll add this to the list of things that we do is eat like a very have you had it with like when it's all jazzed up, the like South Indian yogurt rice with like the cashews and the like mustard seeds and all of
Mustard
that?
seeds and curry leaves. I've probably had like a spoon or two, but
Okay. You
it's the
need to
same
have that. You
like
need to have it with
total.
jalapeno chips. You gotta do a whole we'll do this whole thing with there's this like Texas brand jalapeno chip that is like really good with yogurt rice. It's a whole thing.
I would be into that. I would be into that. It's been a long time since I've had chips with an Indian rice dish, but that's totally what I used to do when I was growing up. So
Hmm.
yeah, to like make it more exciting or palatable to my bratty childhood palate. But yes, I would definitely try that. I would definitely try that. Sounds
But yeah,
delicious.
wait, we went on a big tangent. We were talking about Costa Rica and we went to Crudite, but go back to Costa Rica. You guys, did you guys
Well,
just like beach and lounge, or did you do any adventure things?
the most adventure thing we did was a couple's massage. and and which was incredible. It was a rainforest couples massage, which meant that they had one of those. Have you ever done a sound bath where they have the rain stick? It's almost like a maraca type of instrument that it's like
Oh
a
yeah.
long tube, and yeah, so it made it sound like you were in a rainforest. So yes, given that that was the most adventurous thing we did, this was very much a fly and flop type of vacation. Just like get there, we're not leaving. We're just gonna go. We're gonna make sure we eat at all the different dining venues, which were really good. I have to say the food there, the Greek salad, incredible. Pizza, so good. I do realize that none of these are traditional
I was
Costa
about to
Rican
say
foods.
you went to Costa Rica and had a
I
Greek salad.
know. I know. I know. I mean, look, I think there are many oh no, are we frozen? No. Good. We're back. Okay. Um my first trip to Costa Rica, I did do more exploring and I did try more local restaurants. I left the villa where I was staying that time. This was total like Americans on holiday trip.
Yeah.
Confirming all the stereotypes. Like, yes, I am gonna go to the, Greek restaurant on property that's serving, like, Middle Eastern kebabs because it's really funny because I think these resorts, they sort of know what their demographic and the customer is looking for right now, and it's like, yes, you don't wanna eat at the same restaurant every night. You do want, like, the place that is serving the Greek food. Maybe 2 nights from now, they've turned it over, and now it's like a taqueria concept, and, the next night it might be Japanese or it might be it's all again, none of it is like by the book authentic. It's all like interpretations, but for people who are like I want to go on vacation, I want to be in a beautiful place. I don't want to eat the same thing for every meal. I think it totally works. And they had a place that had pad thai, they had sushi. I
You were set.
mean I was so sad. I did not miss the crudité, and I'm sure if I had asked for crudité, they would have, like, nicely cut up some carrots and celery and cucumber and given it to me on a silver platter. But the other cool thing we did there was on my birthday, actually, they have a new thing called astronomy and gastronomy, or maybe it's called Dinner with the Stars. And basically, essentially,
Those are great names.
yeah, both. I think it is Dinner with the Stars, and you eat outside in this beautiful. It's actually at the 18th hole of the golf course there, so you're
Hmm.
overlooking that. There's a fountain. There's a sunset view. There were a bunch of teenagers who were taking off their shoes and like running all over the golf course and screaming and like falling on top of each other. But I think that's just like, well, that's what teenagers do. They seem to be having a good time. We were eating, we had this great tasting menu. I'll post all of the a photo of the menu in the show notes. And our server was also our star guide. And so the table's here, and then right
Oh,
over here is this like high power telescope. So between courses, we would get up and he's like, here are the moons of Jupiter, and here's Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. And what else did we see? We saw part of Orion's belt. We saw like the way that the Milky Way, as it gets darker, you can kind of see how the like sort of cloudy, what would you call it? Like basically there's a band of the sky where it just looks like, it almost looks like a cloud, but it's actually the galaxy, apparently.
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you would take breaks from your meal to go look at the stars and come back? That's so
Exactly.
cool.
It was really cool. And then a really cool other thing that happened, or that he did, our server, he took a couple of photos of us on his iPhone, and then at the end of the meal airdropped them to me, and he had spent time editing them so that the the basically you could see the night sky, you could still see us. And then the last one was it must have been AI generated, like almost anime version of us where
And
we
yeah, I
look
saw you post
Japanese.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cute.
It was really, really cute. I'm like, we look a lot
This is
cuter than we do in real life.
a very
So
talented man. He's
so
like
talented.
he knows a lot of things. I don't think of you as someone who eats outdoors at night because of bugs. There were no bugs.
You know what? There were no bugs there, but I will tell you that I don't know when it happened. I something bit me. It bit my toe. And
Uh,
do you ever like have you ever woken up at night and had like with a mosquito bite so bad that you're like you just wake up because it's so itchy and realize that something must have bitten you and start scratching? Because that's what
yeah.
happened.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
think I've had that. Okay, wow, it was that bad though.
It was that bad, and it was weird because nothing else, like, really didn't get any other bites at all. But the day before we left, I wake up like this. I'm like, "Oh gosh, okay, something must have gotten me. How annoying." Whatever. I put some, I think we had some anti-itch gel or something. I put that on it and I went back to sleep. The next day, we're on the plane, and I'm wearing socks. I'm wearing 2 layers of socks. I'm wearing compression socks, and I'm wearing socks over that, and then my feet are in slides, and the toe is itching like crazy.
Oh god.
I'm just like, it's taking everything in me not to, like, take off my shoe, take off my socks, I think it was really just the not wanting to be that person on the plane, like with their bare feet, like rubbing them against the dirty carpet, like that just it
Yeah,
seemed like
glad
a
you weren't
recipe
that
for
person.
disaster.
Yeah, glad you weren't that person, but
So I
that's
didn't do that, but what I decided to do was like aggressively rub my toe on the inside of my compression sock, which are like they're kind of like ribs. So it was like I am I didn't know what else to do. So I did that, and I knew I was doing the wrong thing. And we get off the plane, we're on the way home, and I have that feeling like when you think that something's bleeding and you
oh
get like
god.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I feel like I really messed something up. Like I'm expecting to take off my sock and see like a bunch of like blood at the end of my foot. We get home, I take off my socks. Nothing. I did not. No skin was broken. But what I had done was effectively, and because of the 6 hour flight, my toe looked like a sausage. It literally looked like a cocktail sausage, like a pig in a blanket. It had doubled in size.
Oh my God. What?
It was so large. Yeah, I went straight to ChatGPT and was like, what do I do? I At first I was afraid that this was the same toe that I was walking on the beach and like a shell or something stabbed me. And
Oh, so
so
you're like worried that it was infected or something?
exactly, exactly. And then I did
But
all these like it's like it's not infected. It's just that by I I I basically inflamed the whole thing and made it worse to the point where it's still like it's back to its normal size now, but it's still itchy and there are still like red bumps and blisters from the It's a good thing I didn't get a pedicure.
it's a good thing you didn't get a pedicure, and thank you to everyone who managed to listen and is still listening after a 7-minute story about your toes. That was not
It's
planned content, but wow, glad you survived.
I don't have pictures and I even if I did, I would not.
Don't post it.
I would never.
We trust
I wouldn't want to look at that.
yeah, we the description was enough to where we can imagine it.
Yeah.
Um,
Picture of picking a blanket. That's what it was.
that's hilarious. Well, yay, I'm glad you had a good birthday. I feel like traveling on your birthday is always like it's just always a fun, memorable way to celebrate. I'm glad you had a nice little vacay.
It was. It was a really nice it was a really nice little getaway and yeah, it was a week before Valentine's Day, which we've got I think my
Yeah.
other what was the other thing I was going to talk about was having a pot of soup in the fridge, which I
Yeah, what
feel
is
like
something you are loving? Is having a pot
um
of soup in the fridge. I guess that's that's cool. What
I
do you have
know.
to say about that?
I was gonna be like, we talk too much about food? Whatever. I mean, people like I like talking about food. I'll make it quick so that we can get into the thing that we're both figuring out, the burning
The
question on our
discussion
mind.
topic. Yeah.
Um, okay, yes. So having a pot of soup in the fridge, essentially, and many people have figured this out long before me. But it's the idea of like you make a thing on Monday and you can have it for lunch or
Oh, yeah.
dinner the
Mhm.
rest of the
Yep.
week. I'm obsessed with it's a recipe from the New York Times. I think it's the Cantonese style chicken soup. I will put it in the show notes. But essentially, I've made a lot of soups, and sometimes it takes a really long time to make a soup. This takes about an hour, start to
Hmm.
finish, which for a chicken soup is really not bad. It might even be less than an hour actually. And then it gets to be lunch for the whole week and it feels very I don't want to say gourmet. It's not exactly that, but it just it feels so much more intentional and thoughtful than what I used to do for lunch, which was wait until like 4 o'clock when I'd be so hungry I would be contemplating eating my own arm and then make like a piece of avocado toast and have a handful of nuts or something because I knew I'd be eating dinner soon. And I don't even I don't have a glucose monitor or anything like that, but I'm sure that my levels then were unhappy and that they're a little bit better now because I
A
feel like
little bit.
my mood now that I actually like make a plan for lunch that can be executed over the week is just a lot better.
Yeah, well, I'll piggyback off of that for something that I'm loving recently, which is that this week, um, I think we've had almost all of our meals, like, at home. Like, we've made our lunches, made our dinners.
It's impressive.
The biggest, like, hack for it is, at least for me, and Juan, is having our vegetables pre-chopped. Like, it makes such a
Mm.
big difference if we just have to like assemble for the meal as opposed to like chopping, cutting, and assembling. So I think it was like on Sunday or over the weekend. This is like basic meal prep 101 stuff, but I was like, okay, I'm going to chop up all these onions and these whatever vegetables. And yeah, it's been really pleasant to be able to eat at home. And like we were Uber eating so much, and like ultimately getting very little real value out of it. I'm like, we're spending $50 half the time for 2 meals with, when you take into all the account all the fees and the delivery and the tip and everything
Mhm.
else. And I was like, we just spent $50 on like Chipotle. Like, what just happened here?
I
Like
know.
this is kind of insane. So yeah, I'm loving having dinner and just having meals at home and actually being a little bit more intentional about, planning for it so that it's easy to do it.
I love DoorDash, I love Postmates, I love the delivery services in general, but I've gone through those phases where we're doing them so much that I feel like it makes me feel robotic or, robotic and also lazy at the same time, and
Mhm.
unable to provide for myself, and I
Exactly.
get really into my head about it, and I'm kind of here for a return to look, there are situations where you sometimes have to default to takeout, and that's absolutely fine, but I love a picking up. Uh,
Mm,
I I do like to order directly from the restaurant's website or even, like, calling it in if
call
possible
them.
and then
Yeah.
picking it up. Just because there are certain dishes where you want them hot or you want them, like, right when they're ready, and if you're doing it through one of these apps, you could get it, like, 2 hours later, or now, like, they have the Coco robots, like the little delivery bots all over LA,
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
which are really cute, but we live in a kind of hilly area, and they often get stuck.
Oh,
They don't
no.
make it.
Wait, what happens when they get stuck? They just, like
They just, like, shut down.
and so
They
what
just
about
shut.
what about the thing they're delivering? Someone has to go pick it up?
So I think someone who works for the robot company goes and retrieves it, and then the restaurant has to send the dish again, and you don't
Oh.
pay for it, but it means that, like, whatever, the bulgogi bowl that you ordered at 6 o'clock shows up at, like, 9
Oh,
instead of.
god.
Yeah, yeah. So I would rather just go pick up and
Go
circumvent
pick
that process, but it's kind of like, because if you do what you do, where you've made all your meals, then, like, I don't know, after a week of that, it's like, "Oh, DoorDash is, like, a special occasion."
Exactly. Exactly. Like, and yeah, and then I think you end up being more excited for the meal as opposed to when you just do it all the time to where you realize like yeah, like we got to a point where I was like nothing even seems exciting to order because it's like yeah, feels like it's just
Yeah,
gonna be underwhelming.
exactly,
Um
and then everything is yeah, $35 after taxes and fees and
after
tip and, like,
the
all this stuff.
fees and I just got it's like my phone was obviously listening to us because I just got a Uber Eats notification about 20% off. So great. Not
Nice.
today. Not today.
Not today, Uber Eats.
Not today.
Not
Indeed.
happening.
Let's discuss this.
I
I don't even you have probably read or watched the video more recently than I have, but
I
tell us about this insane thing you sent me.
I have watched it. I've watched a lot of the takes. I did watch the Raw interview. Well, although I think the Raw interview was in Norwegian. But anyway, so here's what happened. A couple of days ago, this a Norwegian biathlete who is completing, I meant to look up what a biathlete is, and I'm
Yeah,
doing
what
it
is it?
right now.
I guess he's
A,
in 2 sports.
a competitor in a Nordic skiing event that combines cross country skiing and rifle shooting. Wow,
Oh,
it's
whoa.
kind of badass.
Okay.
Okay.
Who comes up with this stuff? Like, right?
Seriously,
What does cross country skiing and rifle shooting have to do with
it's
one
like some
another? Okay.
Game of Thrones type shit. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense that he's Norwegian. I mean, and I have to say this because it does make it. It's somewhat does make a difference. He's pretty good looking. I think objectively, he's like I think he's a good-looking guy, but his name is Sturla. I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to pronounce his last name, but he won the bronze medal
Okay.
at a Cortina for the biathlete category, and he used his post-race or post-medal interview to make this. I guess he thought it was a grand gesture to say to his ex-girlfriend that he's sorry that he cheated after 3 they had been dating for 6 months. After 3 months, he cheated on her. I actually don't know the entire story of, it sounds like they were already broken up, and she's sort of written him off. There was this one meme that was, like, blocked him on every social media app, so he went to the
Go
Olympics
to the Olympics to tell the news. Yeah, exactly.
to tell you that please give him another chance. But, yeah, he basically, like, kind of starts breaking down crying in this interview saying, "This is the love of my life, and I need to do everything I can to try to win her back." And, of course, this ends up going viral because who has ever used a post-race, post-competition interview to do something like that? And the takedowns, there were so many takedowns there. I have many feelings about this. The main one being that how narcissistic can you be to to think that you're humiliating. You've already humiliated this person by being unfaithful, by I don't know the details of their relationship, only they do, but you've already done them wrong. Now you're gonna go on worldwide television and blow them up, and now, Phoebe Robinson had a great video about this that I'll link to, where she's like, "Now everywhere that this woman goes, they're gonna be whispering and being like, 'Oh my gosh, that's the girl, that's the woman that
Does
Sterla.'"
he name her? Do we know if he names
Don't
her?
He did not name her. She
Okay,
did
but
do
I'm
an
sure people
interview.
can figure it out. Yeah. Mhm.
People are gonna figure it out. I mean, it's just yeah, it's a country, obviously, but it's not. I'm sure someone on the internet has figured out what her name is, and she did an interview with a Norwegian media outlet, but they kept her anonymous. And she basically said like, "I'm not interested in talking to him." Like, yeah, I said what I needed to say, and that's it. But yeah, it's just so. It's I see the world in which that could be interpreted in someone's mind. It could be interpreted as, okay, well, this is a grand gesture. I'm just going for broke. I don't care if I embarrass myself. But clearly he doesn't care if he embarrasses her.
Exactly. Like, she didn't ask for this. And, like, the level of narcissism, lack of any kind of self-awareness of how you sound, putting this, like, on blast and sharing a private thing. Like, again, in his deluded mind, he must have thought this would be some grand romantic gesture to confess your love in this, like, moment that you're in the spotlight, or confess your mistake, really, in this moment that, like, but it's just also just shows how much this man, like, does not understand at least what most women would want. Like, I don't know anyone who would like that. It is like it's awful, and it's not a grant. I mean, it's the opposite, right? Like, if you think about someone who, especially someone who's gone through that experience, like, the thing that they're looking for, possibly most likely, is some level of, like, trust and safety. This idea of, like, sharing this private mistake that you made on an international stage is the exact opposite of what,
Yeah.
a woman would wanna feel. Like, their trust feels violated, they feel betrayed, and then you go and do that thinking that that somehow is gonna, like, compensate and create safety. You literally just made her feel even less safe, even less secure, and just, yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm glad that a lot of people have called him out for how, insensitive and just awful that was.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. I do think though that because of what he does, because of the way he looks, because there is like I think that in a fantasy world, like in the movies, like say even look at like the popularity of Colleen Hoover books or like It Ends
Mhm.
With Us before that the real life drama
The real life
intervened.
saga, yeah.
um, I think that there's a fantasy out there of like the bad boy and reforming him to the point where yes, he's awful and he's selfish and he's uncouth, but he just loves you so desperately that he's going to go to the ends of the earth and yeah, you're probably going to get hurt and dragged and stepped on the way, but like this is what love is, and it's so passionate and that it's almost bad for you. And I think that that's the stuff of drama or that's the stuff of fantasy, because if you have been in a relationship like that or know people who have, that's not a life that is tenable or
No.
aspirational or the sort of relationship that I think most women want. It's way too, it's, for lack of a better word, it's just toxic. But I think the story is attractive. And I think the sort of like the desperate man who will do anything is a attractive trope, but in real life it just doesn't.
Yeah, I just there's something that's so, I mean, to use an overplayed word, like, cringe about it, and all like, I also think about, like, imagine him for just all of the years of training. I'm sure his family, his coaches, like, whoever have poured into him to get to this point, and then, like, he chooses to use this moment, well, maybe he thanked them, but ultimately, like, the only thing people are gonna remember this man for is this, I think, is this, like, confession of his mistake. I feel like that's what he's trending for the most, more than whatever, athletic feat he achieved, and yeah, like,
You
why?
know,
Why?
I he'll be on the Norwegian version of The Bachelor. There'll
Oh,
be another woman who'll be like, "You know what? I thought it was so," or maybe they won't be like, "Oh, I thought it was so romantic." Maybe they'll be like, "You know what? He's reformed. He's changing himself. He's on this show to find love, and I'm gonna be the one that he's gonna really fall in love with and treat well, and he's not gonna cheat on me." And like, who knows? Maybe that could happen. But I just think like Eh, yeah, that's it's I imagine that there are probably a lot of narcissists in the Olympics. Like, I think like any the top of any
the
field,
top
if
of any field, yeah, mhm.
you're especially you're representing your country, you're literally being put on a pedestal. It's gonna get to your head at some level, but one would hope that you treat the people in your life well and that you don't you don't hurt the ones that you love along the way. I guess I don't know. I don't really know where I
I
was going with that, but
Well, I just Googled it again, and it sounds like at least later says that he may have regretted, or that he regretted, going public with his private life. Alright, well, we all could have told you that.
yeah, deeply
Um,
regrets.
I'm also just very confused about this sport. You cross country ski and do rifle shooting.
I don't
Um
know who invents these. Like, who comes up with these sports?
Yeah, so this one, the biathlon developed from the sport of military patrol, which began in Scandinavia. Okay, and it's called ski shooting, I get
That
it
makes
now
more
a little bit,
sense.
but yeah, I don't know who comes up with this, like, but it seems like it's incredibly niche, to, like, to to combine the 2, I guess, but here we are.
I mean, I just I'm reading what he actually said in the interview. 6 months ago, I met the love of my life and the most beautiful and kindest person in the world. 3 months ago, I made my biggest mistake and cheated on her. you met her 6 months ago. You met her 6 months ago, which means like, okay, think about like month one. uh, Hopefully, you're like falling in love with them, but you're like also getting to know. That's just a really, really fast timeline to call someone the love of your life and cheat on them and break up.
And
Like,
then go and say it on live TV. It seems like there's there's definitely some, I don't know if it's like impulse control, maybe it's all narcissism, but there's something going on there that seems he's not exuding safety. He's not exuding stability.
he might need to work
Um,
on himself a lot.
but he apparently just won another Olympic medal 10 hours ago. So he won two medals. And we'll have to, after we finish, watch his second medal interview to see if I'm sure he addressed the first one after that.
I'm sure. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, you know, he's also he's 28, 27, 28 years old. I hope if he if if he genuinely regrets this, and I think it must be impossible, even if you're trying to tune out social media, it must be impossible to not know the way that this story has rippled across the world. I
Totally.
hope he learns from this. I hope he treats the next person in his life that he decides to romantically partner with. I hope he treats them better, because this is, you cannot go like yeah, it's almost there was that big trend of like huge public proposals for a while, like flash mobs and like put like a Times Square billboard or what, like I like absolute respect to people who are into that. That just feels, it's like a really significant moment in someone's life, that to put it on a that kind of stage feels, yeah, again, well, I'll say cringe. It feels cringe in a
We
similar
need,
way that this does.
yeah, we need to do we should do a poll on to direct it at specifically to women since his was directed to a woman, but not specifically would any woman appreciate what he did because I don't think any woman would. But I think most women would not want like a really grand, large public venue kind of proposal. Um, that's my hypothesis. But like proposing at a baseball
Yeah.
stadium or at a concert, like I think, or on TV, I think like
Yeah.
most women wouldn't want that. But we'll see.
Wouldn't
We'll
put
see what the followers say. But that's my hypothesis that yeah.
I'll put
It's
a
just
poll in the show notes. Yeah, I agree. That is also my, that's also I my hypothesis is that most people would prefer something more private than a baseball stadium. But again, I think it makes like it's another one of those things that like it sounds really nice and it sounds quite romantic. And if I saw a movie where that happened, like there's so many movies where they have these like
yeah,
I,
the big
I'm
gestures. Hmm.
the big gestures, and I'm blanking on all of them, but yeah, it's like something that is nice to watch if you know that both people are on the same page and that she's going to say yes. If there's even a hint of a doubt, how just yeah, to put someone in that position of having to say yes because they don't want to look like a villain or because they don't want to make you feel bad, um that or deal with the repercussions right that moment, that's so bad.
Yeah, and also just like the attention, right? Like a lot of people do not want to be the center of attention. And so I'm just imagining like suddenly knowing that you have tons of eyes on you and then you're like it almost takes, you might not actually be able to focus on what's happening in front of you because you're just like thinking about the hundreds or thousands or whatever number of people who are watching and like suddenly that's what you're
Mhm.
thinking about instead of the moment. So yeah, I think our hypothesis is going to be proven to be correct, but we shall see.
We'll have our very scientific, rigorous polling conducted. Our own little 538
Yeah, exactly. Let's go Substack to the 2 a.m. reckoning
polling
link. Yeah.
department. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Nothing big, but in a way that I'm very excited about. We bought a bunch of art and other things over the last few months, and have some furniture items that we are moving in or hanging up. So we have a contractor coming to the house to help us get things like hung up, and it's gonna be there's quite a lot of stuff that has to get done. So we're gonna spend most of the day doing that and then probably just order in dinner. But I'm really excited and I can't wait for next week to show you all of the new stuff that we have. There's a
Ooh.
really beautiful big painting that we got in Tanzania that's going to be going up in our living room. So yeah, super excited about that. So
Ooh.
so we're literally just doing house stuff and then going to have a chill evening in.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, how fun. I can't wait to see that. I am seeing Wuthering Heights with
Ooh,
Alexander
yeah.
tomorrow
Okay.
morning. Yeah,
Amazing. I've heard great
I
things. I saw, like, a couple people post really good things about it.
I admit I actually don't I've never read it. I have a vague sense of what it's about, but I think what this movie seems to really be about, at least for me, Margot Robbie's outfits, Charlie
Mm.
XCX soundtrack. Jacob Elordi is he has such an angular face.
He has
It's
a
just
very
very,
English face,
like,
yeah. Yes.
intriguing on, like, a human specimen kind of level.
Yeah, he does have a very angular face. It's true. I actually didn't even know he was in it. I have not really paid much attention to it until I just started seeing people post about it, but,
Oh, yeah.
okay, well, that'll be fun.
That's gonna be my Valentine's, ode to Valentine's, and then, we're getting together with, Nikhil's family in the evening for I'm saying it's for Valentine's Day. It may or may not be a delayed thing for my birthday, but, whatever.
Oh,
There'll be a lot of food
cute.
and
Yeah,
Mhm.
lots of love
Yeah,
to get around. Aw,
I'll
well,
take
have
it.
fun. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to you next week.
Yep. See you
All
soon.
right. Love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Bye.
Bye.